Alright everybody, this is a video I've been in for a while. This is an old mcculloch 610, or mcculloch as the kids call it these days and age. Just a standard mcculloch, nothing new, nothing special about it, except that it was my first saw I've ever had. My first real saw. I think it's the only first big saw I ever got, actually. First saw I ever got. There's an old 610. I can't even. Also, the serial range is in the A11 serial range, but it helps anybody playing at home. Good old saw. She's pretty much now used for cutting stumps. She's got a scored ball on her. She's a bit low on comp. I think she's about 140, 150. She's a bit low now. I do have a sister saw to this. That's got a massive big score chunk taken at the top of the piston, but still pulls 160 comp. I don't know how, but like anything, parts of these are pretty. You find more of the saws and you find more of the parts. I know you can get new wings, new old stock wings from made up in Canada. What's the name? Rock Crusher, whatever his name is. But no, too expensive, you know. Ship them, you know. Their wings, you know, they're $20 wings, but it's about 60 bucks to ship them. These are supposedly solid saws. I've never seen a bad one for bad magneto. None of the oil pumps work in them. The other one I got, it builds up pressure, but it doesn't pump. Don't know, just the age of the plastic and the diaphragms. mcculloch was never big on motor-driven oil pumps. Now this one, you pretty much got to use this guy all the time. I know a bloke who still uses one of these occasionally when he pinches his big steel. Still, he uses this to save it. Yeah. One of the biggest killer on these is the air filters. The flock dies in them, and you get massive big holes in them. I went with that with a bit of I don't know if you can see it in there. Just a bit of foam, and I was thinking about tying a pantyhose around it, just over the filter and clamp it down, just to give it a bit of fine particulate filter. I still got the bars, but they're a bit on the warp side, or a bit of the old side now. You know, I think I got a 22, a 20, and a 16-inch bar for one of these. The 16-inch bars, they're just cuts, but this 20-inch, you know, she's a bit slow, but they always were. They were never a fast saw. I did break the it did break eventually the tensioner on it, the screw, and I had to actually modify a pulling one to fit in there. But I require a very long screwdriver to reach it because it's pretty far in there now. If you've got one of these, you know, these break. I've seen these missing. I mean, these chunks missing. Sorry for the jump cut. I've seen like I said, seen these broken. That's the decomp for the 650. If you ever wonder what that hole is for. And that's because there's two types of this: the 610 and the 650. I can't tell you much about the 3.7 later one, 3.7, but the 650 one's carbon iron wings, and they're reasonable compression, but the way they're designed, they decomp as you pull them. The 650 don't. The 660's got an extra port in them, very aggressive porting from the factory, like a factory hot rod, and they need a comp because they're running tool steel rings in them. Those are rare as hen's teeth to find, but they go like stink when you do find them. These are somewhat popular here in Australia. I have seen boys modify this by cutting this out and putting a piece of aluminium so they can get rid of this full guard. These have been known to break in the cold, but not here. Or I've seen boys run without any of this. This whole paint will fit on a mcculloch 1010 one. Will fit straight on here. It matches up. So I've got a sneaking position, but if I do come across a 610, which, so an old 1010 or 107, which didn't have any chain brake on it, I could modify one of these to fit straight on. Probably just cut it and fit it straight on and give me a chain brake. You know, until I get one, I don't really have a chance to play with them. You will find these, you know, multiple things, you know, at least here. This one must be in a grey import, or along those pines, or come through like a store, because it's just a sticker. But the Australian ones come in, the sticker's not on the side here, it's actually got a plate riveted to the bottom here. It says McCulloch Australia, because these were pretty popular. These were the bigger rival against steel than Husqvarna was. Just because I think, well, they were cheaper, a lot cheaper than the steel, because steel has always been expensive here. But they seem to hold alright cutting in the hard gum. You know, you sit your acres to 20 foul, and you just let these do their job. You know, and they run on junk fuel, junk oil. Doesn't kill them. You know, I've seen boys run that. So SAE 30 mixed at 16:1, and he's just pure out smoke, but they just keep on cutting. Then one of the biggest downfalls on these is they do get hot. Like as in the woods on his video with his McCulloch 3225A AV, he says where his magneto is on this side, it gets hot and you have to drill holes in it. Well, these are pretty much the same, but the magneto's up the funny. So it's kind of, the magneto doesn't get hot, but this back part does. You really got to make sure it's clean in there, or she will just clog up. You know, when I got this, it had plants growing out of it. It was fine and hard rubbish, so I just chucked it out. It's still on the original fuel line. It's still got the original felt filter on it, which just, you stick it up in the thing. So it came with one felling dog. I actually made a spare one. So one's actually homemade, one's original. Be one in the poke up bar, because the other one's a bit worn. I don't put one in them. That one's just fine. But you will see these of a stamp here in Australia occasionally. They're not so common now, but they used to have a stamp, I think, either here or up here in this section. Used to rivet them on. A lot of the Australian Army used to use these. You see the Department of Defence stamp on the side as government property, and these were surplused off as they upgrade to, you know, I think they did a steel, a deal with steel, and they end up using a lot of them. But a lot of the Army boys used to use these. A lot of boys used to buy them and take them back home, or borrow them and then return them. I just stuck feeling, you know. I haven't started this in probably, oh God, it's got to be nearly 5 months now. At the start of the year, I had to nick into a saying the dirt, and I wasn't going to stick a be good bar on it. So see if she could start up. Let me just put you down so you can see. Let's see. Let's watch a Winnick Australian use a camera mount. Here you go. Let's see. On jog. Right, no push button on these. Turn on, not yet. Come on, start. Come on, start today. Shake half in. She's old, she's worn out, but I still love her. Come across another couple of them, I will collect them. Eventually I'll find one with a good clean bore, and I might repaint this and redo all of it. I won't paint it red like one bloke's done and paint it as a Ferrari red. But she's a good old saw. I'll upgrade that though to later Eager Beaver ones. That's a mongrel thing.